Actually, I just forgot. Before we leave here, I wanted to get the next couple of things we need in order to tackle the Thirsty River mission, which is the next one we're coming up to, and of course now I've got to start trying to get all of the skills and stuff like that. So, just before we leave, I'm going to grab... I'm going to use a regular warrior tome. These are from enemies in normal mode, in hard mode, but just regular enemies, not bosses. And we're going to get this skill here called Agonizing Chop, which is a axe skill, which I definitely need. So we'll grab that. And while we're at it, we got this axe from a collector earlier for the lodestones. And it's an okay axe, but we need to upgrade it if we want it to be as good as I can get it. So, well, almost as good as I can get it. So I've gone ahead and salvaged from some other stuff two things. We've got a new axe grip for it, which will mean 20% of the time our axe mastery attribute is raised by 1, which means every now and then we'll do more damage. And we've got another one, which is a vampiric haft. And what that means is, for as long as we've got as long as we're holding the axe, our health is going to continuously be draining. Which sounds bad, but it also means every time we hit an enemy, our health will be coming back. So, while I'm running around, I'm going to use this sword we got before, if you remember, because this gives us extra armor as well. And then when we need to fight, I'll switch to the axe, and we can do lots of damage with every hit. So, that's it. Let's get going. Don't want to waste any more time. Headed to the Thirsty River. We're going there to do our last test to become ascended. Well, the last test before we can get inside the Mesa. Inside the Mesa, apparently another test awaits us. We're still not sure what that could possibly be, but all will become clear very soon. Alright, so this is called the Scar. It's mostly a sandy area, but I think it's called the Scar because down the middle there's like a huge ravine, and inside it kind of cracks the place in two, and I think that's what the Scar's meant to be. Anyway, I'm not 100% sure where we're going, so I will try and super speed this as much as possible because I don't want to waste much time. I'm hoping to ascend by the 100th episode. So, there you go. Alright, so let's get going. So here the teleporter just kind of takes me into the middle of the Scar, and I just go straight up the first staircase. You can see here that I can see, but it doesn't take me anywhere good. God, these things are still chasing me. They've been chasing me for ages. Go away. Good. What were they? Ah, they were those griffins. We're quite high up here. Ah, you see this? There's another statue sunken in the ground there, but over there, can you see those glowing lights and that big boat? I think, yes, that's where we're headed. That's the outpost. That's the Thirsty River down there. But I have no idea how to get there from here. I can't just jump down the cliff. That'd be sweet, but I can't, so... It looks like if we can get into here, then we can go from that teleporter across and then along. Oh, what the hell? This is just a dead end. This is just a lookout. A lookout post. Can I not seriously go down? That's a load of crap. Yeah, so while it was useful to see where I had to go, that was kind of annoying. So I just make my way here back down this long staircase. And I have a choice. I can either go out into the sand or keep in the ravine. And I choose to stay in there with the centaurs, which actually turns out bad. If you see right there, actually in a minute, I think it is, I use sprint with diversion on. Yeah, see, I've already done it, and it just takes ages to recharge, which ends up killing me. So I went onto Wiki, looked for a map, and the map says that the best way to go is to actually stay the hell out of the ravine, the actual Scar itself, and to stay out here on the desert plains out on the left. So you could see just there, I just passed the long staircase I was already on with the big rock, and pretty much I just make my way through all the boats and the bones and stuff until I find it. It's not too bad of a trip, to be honest, but it was annoying that I went the wrong way. But I mean, that's all been condensed down now into, I don't know, about 3 minutes maybe, and it took me about 10 minutes to do the whole thing, so overall I'm actually quite happy with it. This teleporter here is the one we saw from the top of the rock, and we just go through and then that's the end of the trip really. Ta-da! Here we are at last. Thirsty River. And I don't know how much you got to see with all that super speed, but there were a lot of boats and stuff we've already passed. Because I didn't talk for that, that's quite a long time without me talking, so I'll sort of voice over that using Audacity or something in a minute. Anyway, this is the Thirsty River. Now, as I've been saying, the desert is meant to sort of get people used to how high-end PvP works in GuildWars. And we have learnt from the Dunes of Despair, sort of King of the Hill. From Alona Reach we were introduced to the Capture the Flag game type. And what could we possibly learn here? Well, you might have guessed it. We're learning about Annihilation, which is essentially kill count. But Annihilation in GuildWars, sometimes there are these things called priests. Basically that is an NPC ally that you get on your team, and it means that every 2 minutes that ally, while it is alive, will resurrect everyone on your team. And that's what we're going to be up against in this mission. We're going to be having to destroy, on my own, I'm going to have to face entire teams of Forgotten, kill them all, and kill them before their priest can resurrect them every 2 minutes. So from that you might have learned a little bit of why this is going to be so difficult. Well, see, look, all of these structures are just built out of boats and stuff. Anyway, before we worry about that, let's read the journal entry for the last mission we did, which is Alona Reach. The ghostly hero called this next test the Trial of the Alonians, during which I learned the tale of his people and their downfall. By helping the ghostly hero fuse together the 3 shards of the vision crystal, I brought together that which had been torn asunder in life and made it in one in spirit. My path was made clear. The day of judgment in Augury Rock grew ever nearer. Okay, so that's that. Let's read the outpost description. One look at this dry and desolate gorge tells the tale of its naming. Where once flowed a mighty river that shaped the land over millennia, now wind and sand make their way along deep channels, now little more than an echo of the past. It's not all that bad. In Guild Wars 2 it's a river again. So I guess it ran through here. No? Well, I'm not sure actually. There we go. Okay, now that we're here I can set my build and we can get our last skill. I've got one more tome, which I'm going to use to learn the strength skill, Flail. Now this is like Flurry and Frenzy. It's a skill that makes me attack faster. But instead of costing energy, this one costs adrenaline, and it doesn't make me attack it doesn't make me do less damage, and it doesn't mean I take double damage. Instead it means I move slower. So, I'm going to quickly change my build and then I'll show it to you guys and explain it. Okay everyone, I'm back. I've completely sorted out my build. We're back here at the Amnoon Oasis for what might be the last time. For me to improve my armor with new runes. You can see I've got a lot less health now, but that's all a part of the plan. We're going to be using weapon sets because I have to swap between them now, and we're ready to go. I'm actually kind of nervous. The first time in a long time. I'm really hoping I can get this done. I just did it again, completed it for the 7th time on my other warrior. Let's speak to the ghostly hero. Right. So, oh hold on, let me just sort all that out. Alright, a test for the mighty awaits you. What is it you seek? Why do the buildings here appear to be made from boats? Like most others who have come to the Crystal Desert, the Marganites arrived expecting to be able to find a physical means with which to reach the heavens. All they found was disappointment, an endless supply of sand, and eventually their own mortality. The Marganites? They were very much like my people, the Elonians. They were simply a misguided group who came to the desert to be heard by their gods. They were actually here before it was a desert as well. How did they get here? It might be hard to believe, but many hundreds of years ago, much of the sand and sun-baked dunes were completely underwater. The Marganites, as you might have surmised by their architecture, were a sea-going culture, and they simply floated their way out here, looking for Ascension, back only when the tops of the dunes stuck out of the water. They did not understand there is no earthly way to reach Ascension. Only by proving yourself worthy to the gods will they allow you to access to their realm. What happened to the Marganites? They built towers like so many others have, hoping to climb into the heavens and come face to face with their gods, foolishly thinking that they could read their petitions to Dwayne, Balthazar and Melandru from their own lips. Their towers remain standing to this day, an eternal testament to their failure. Understand this, Ascension must be earned, and even then only those few who are worthy of being raised to such a level will be admitted. All others will fall to the wayside, toiling in obscurity for a goal that they cannot reach, or becoming trapped like me, forced to wait an eternity. Their fate resting in the hands of someone they have not yet met. What must I do? You must make your way to the Rune Circle. There you will be cleansed of your earthly sins in preparation for your being gazed upon by the gods. I'll make it to the Rune Circle, and I will be by your side. So, that's the quest. Let's enter in. My skills are as follows. When we get in, I'll show you. Oh god, I'm nervous. Alright, okay, my skills are as follows. The 3 act skills that you've seen me using the whole way through this Let's Play. One that interrupts enemies. Flail, which makes me attack faster without any other drawbacks really. Defy pain, which means I take a lot less damage. And these 2 enchantments, both mending and watchful spirit, I'm using at the same time. Because, like I said before, only the scarab beetles can strip enchantments from me in the desert. And, thankfully, just like in all of these other tests, there haven't been any scarab beetles that I need to come across and find. So I'm using those 2 things, which should make travelling around a cinch. Now he was talking about the Rune Circle. Can you see that big tower up there that one of the Marganites built? A group of Marganites built? That is the very end of the mission. That's where we're eventually going to go. But to get there we need to defeat a lot of different teams. We actually have to go through 6 mock annihilation matches. We're going to fight 6 different teams full of Forgotten, all on my own. I'm not going to use the Shining Blade, there would actually be a hindrance here. And I have to take them all out. As you can see, the Devourers really aren't doing anything to me with both these enchantments up. I just don't have to worry. See now, I can do it on the practice guy, but I'm kind of nervous here because we've got less attribute points than my other guy, because we haven't completed the other attribute point quests, and also I've got lower armor than the other guy, so those 2 things could be the perfect combination for failure. I don't know. Anyway, for this first part of the mission, you can, if you want, kill these sand giants, and they will give you a morale boost. That's kind of in tribute to what happens in the PvP mode Heroes Ascent, where before you start doing the annihilation matches, you actually have the choice of fighting against some optional things to raise your morale. So you see I've got +2 morale boost there now, and that will help me a little bit later. So here we go, we're going towards the arenas, all these structures made out of boats. This actually looks like a little bit of a mini Colosseum here, but this is just the staging area that we're going to be going into before we start our first battle. Let me just move out of the way because that Devourer was following me. So here's Charr also waiting for us. This is the first arena up here. The Forgotten are on the other side, and you can see their priest there. Charr will explain what's going to happen, I'm sure. Okay.
Before you can ascend and enter the rift, you must first be cleansed. Lead me safely to the Rune Circle at the end of this test, and I will cast the ritual to burn away your earthly imperfections. Your first challenge will be to defeat a single legion of Forgotten. Your opponent opponents will be resurrected every 2 minutes, unless you destroy the priest who tends their shrine. Once you have defeated your foes, lead me to the door, and I will usher you into the next challenge.
Of course, the door will take us.
The challenges will grow harder as you progress. If you defeat all of the foes along your path, we will claim the rune circle, and you will be cleansed. Prove yourselves worthy, and you will be one step closer to gaining entrance to the rift.
Okay, so usually the ghostly hero will be following us here, but I'm going to click him and tell him to stay there, because he dies, of course, that would be the end of it for me. So we've got a lot of foes here. As you can see, there's 6, 7, 8 members of their team. I'm just running in straight through here. Usually this would have taken me out pretty fast. You'll see that they do a lot of damage, but the second I can get Defy Pain up, like that, I should be well enough protected. So they're all going to keep trying to hit me, and they've got me permanently snared. The first boss is Gos Alish again, who we can see. Because I'm using 2 enchantments here, 2 bonds, it actually means that, see, Defy Pain's fallen down. I apologise if my commentary is bad here. The truth is that it takes a lot of focus. Because I've got no energy at all, he can't heal. Usually he can heal himself by sucking my energy away. Shit, I missed it. But thankfully that's not going to happen anymore, because I don't have any energy for him to suck away. I'm working purely on adrenaline. Now what I'm supposed to do there, but I missed because I'm talking, is these priests use something called Aegis, which means they start to block, and I need to interrupt their block so that I can kill them nice and fast. I missed last time, so as you can see he's taken a while to kill. We're on 1 minute 19 seconds already. If I don't kill him in time, then it would have resurrected everyone else. The whole team's trying... Okay, so now the priest is dead. That means that I can kill the rest of them and they won't be resurrected. So, first things first, I'm going to kill the Mesmer boss, because he poses quite a serious threat to me. Mesmers don't deal any type of damage. They do something called chaos damage, which means whenever he hits me, his damage will ignore all of my armor and all of my defenses, which of course is not something we want, since I'm a warrior. That is a pain in the arse, since my one thing that makes me better than most other classes is the fact that I have a high armor, but they just bypass it straight away. Okay, so now the boss is dead. It's as simple as just cleaning up the rest of them. As you can see, my the new skills I'm using, it's all catered perfectly for the mission, and this is probably making it look a hell of a lot easier than it actually was. The amount of time it took me to figure out all of this stuff, I must have spent a whole evening just my head in Google, just looking around at old threads from 2006, back before, you know, back before factions came out and people used assassins all the time. And everyone used warriors. I mean, it was just so hard. And of course skills change a lot, so there was no guarantee that this was going to work. But thankfully everything did come together. I found an old video on Google Videos of some German guy doing this. He had a different build to me, but basically his tactics and his movements throughout the mission are what guided me.